few moments. So again, if you're just logging on, go ahead and grab your block or your blocks, or position yourself near a wall or a piece of furniture for our balance pose. And then when you're ready, just welcome yourself onto your mat. Just do a quick check-in before we do our breathing and see if there's anything you want to leave outside of your space, off your mat for today's practice. Any thoughts, emotions, any part of your day that you don't want to bring with you, go ahead and set the intention to leave it off your mat, out of your space. One of my yoga teachers taught me that your yoga mat is your boundary, your sacred space when you show up to your practice, whenever that is. And it's important to be intentional about what you bring with you to your practice, because yoga will work you through it, whether you want to or not. So if you're bringing something with you that you're not ready to work on, well, yoga has the way of making you work on it. So I like that idea of leaving whatever you're not ready to process through, whatever you don't want to bring with you. It could also be a boundary for negative, any sort of negative thing that you picked up throughout the day, whether it's someone else's opinions or thoughts, or just any type of negative media that you absorbed yourself in. Also a great time to kind of take that off and leave it outside of your space. Unless, of course, you want to work on it and bring it with you. All right, so with that being said, really grounding down, finding your nice, comfortable seat, and connecting your sit bones with the ground, with the mat. We'll go ahead and begin with our breathing practice. So let's go ahead and place our hands on our bellies. We're going to start with our belly breath. And as you breathe in, you're going to blow your belly up like a balloon. And as you breathe out, you're going to fully release, letting all that air, bringing your belly button to your spine. Bring all the air out. And then as you breathe in, you're going to blow that belly up again. And then as you breathe out, fully deflate. Breathing in, filling up. And then as you breathe out, letting go. Continue filling your belly on the in-breath and fully releasing on the out-breath. And seeing if with each new breath in, if you can take it just a little bit deeper, either deeper into your abdominal or deeper up into your chest, wherever the air wants to flow and deepen. Allow it with each one of those in-breaths. Couple more full breaths cycles. And after you finish your last exhale, just release your belly. Allow your breath to return to its normal breathing pattern. Release the hands to the tops of your legs. Close your eyes if they're not already closed. And just do a bit of a mindful check-in here before we begin our practice. Just noticing any sensations in your body. Perhaps asking what feelings, what emotions are you experiencing right now? Perhaps noticing the space or lack of space in your mind. Noticing if you're occupied by certain thoughts. And again, just noticing, not trying to change it, but just allowing whatever comes to be, allowing yourself to show up just exactly as you are. There's no more perfect time than now. There's no more perfect you than now, here in this moment. Perhaps using your breath to release anything you're ready to let go of, or just to breathe through any uncomfortable sensations, emotions, thoughts. Nice big deep breath in, filling up. And then as you breathe out, maybe even just sighing your exhale. Last time, nice big deep breath in. And then sigh it out. Return your breath, this natural breathing pattern, opening your eyes. Let's go ahead and begin with our warm up. We're going to roll our shoulders. So breathing in, I'll shrug our shoulders up, and breathing out, we're going to roll our shoulders back. So breathing in, shrug your shoulders up, and breathing out, roll your shoulders back. And just continue at your own pace, feeling into your shoulders. One more. And pausing there, breathing and shrugging up and rolling your shoulders forward, switching directions. Perhaps feeling change in sensation in one direction and the other. One more. And bring your shoulders down to rest. You're going to bring your arms forward, hugging forward. And as you breathe in, you're going to open up wide, looking up, arch your back slightly. And then as you breathe out, you're going to roll your spine back and hug forward. And then breathing in, open up, arch, look up. And then breathing out, roll your spine back, hug forward, looking down. Continue at your own pace, using your breath to guide your movement, to open when needed. One more full round, ending on an exhale. And then when you're ready, returning to neutral. You're going to come up onto your knees in your thunderbolt pose. You're going to clasp your hands together behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, opening your chest. You can even begin to kind of gently pull down on your hands, opening your shoulders just a bit more, bringing your belly button to your spine, a little bit more core strength. And from here, we're just very gently going to bring your left ear towards your left shoulder without moving your shoulders at all. You want to be very gentle with your neck. You're still pulling down with your hands, just gently moving your neck over or your head over to the left and breathing into that right side of the neck. Again, not overdoing it. The neck is very, very, I think it's fragile. But we just want to be gentle with the neck. Lots of tiny muscles that can easily pull. Not careful. And coming back up to center, pausing just for a moment. And then keeping your arms and your shoulders exactly the same and just bringing your right ear over towards your right shoulder. Again, very gently. Just a bit of a gentle stretch on that left side of your neck, using your breath to open. So many small muscles in our neck, but also so many energy points that like to get stuck. It's nice to open them from time to time. And returning your head back to center. Staying in your thunderbolt pose, you're going to you're going to bring your left leg straight out to the side, making a triangle with your legs. And you're going to bring your right hand down next to you. And you're going to sweep your left arm across your body and reach those left fingertips towards that opposite wall. And breathing in. You want a bit of a more hip opener. You can push your hips forward just a little bit. You might open your hips just a bit. Using your breath, directing it into the areas that feel tight or tense. And bringing your left hand to your left hip, rising up before bringing your leg back to meet your other leg, and then switching sides. Right leg comes straight out, making that triangle with your legs. Left hand comes down next to you. Sweep your right arm across, reach those fingertips towards that opposite wall. Push your hips forward if you want a bit more hip opening. Use your breath. And gazes forward. And then bringing your right hand up to your right hip, rising up before bringing that leg to meet the other leg, meeting me in your tabletop pose. So your knees are under your hips and your wrists are under your shoulders. Finding your tabletop pose. And then you're going to, let's bring your left leg up. So your left foot is just on the inside of your left hand. Walk your hands forward again, straightening out that right leg. You can stay here, or if you want to deepen a bit, you can walk your left leg towards that outside edge of your mat, and you can come down onto your forearms. So you might want to bring if you're doing this, you might want to bring your left foot so that it's pointing kind of up towards that top corner of the mat. This is called Dragon's Pose, and actually a yin pose, but it feels so nice. I'm feeling like we are ready to try it today. So wherever you're at, you can stay in, your elongated runner's pose, or come down into this dragon pose. Wherever you're at with that left leg, your knee should be over your foot. It's okay if it goes over your toes, but you want them in the same line, the same angle. That makes sense. All right, coming back up onto your hands. Bringing that left leg back. Your tabletop will switch sides. Bring your right foot up to the inside of your right hand. And then walk your hands forward, straightening out that left leg. And so here you can come into your dragon's pose on this side. So if you'll see, my right foot is pointing up towards that right edge of the mat. So my knee is, so if it's like this, you want to make sure your knee is pointing straight as well. But this gives you a little bit more space to point your foot out up towards that front corner. And then you can come down onto your forearms, and then use your breath to deepen where you can. And coming back up onto your hands if you're not there already. Bringing that right leg back into your tabletop position. And walk your hands towards that top edge of your mat. Oh my gosh. Lift your bottom up and back into your downward facing dog. So meet me in downward facing dog. I totally lost my cue there, but anyway, meet me in downward facing dog. Bottom up and back. So you're going to bring your hips up and back. You can bend your knees if that's helpful. Your heels can be off the ground. But really that motion comes from your hips, bringing your hips up and back. Really helps to put that stretch in the back of your legs. Gonna help your wrists. Crown of your head relaxes towards the mat. Nice breath, opening that back part of your body. And then looking up towards your hands, you're going to step or hop your feet in between your hands, your forward fold here. So you can either have your hands on your mat, you can have your hands on your shins, or you can clasp your opposite elbows. If you'd like to get into a little bit deeper, forward fold, you can bend your knees until your hands touch the ground. And then just begin to lift your hips up towards the sky. Let the crown of your head fall towards the ground. And then whenever you feel that nice gentle stretch down the back of your legs is when you want to stop. So the legs don't have to be completely straight, but really this kind of helps deepen that forward fold, really get into the back of our legs a little deeper. And a nice big deep breath in. Raising your arms up to the sky, coming all the way up onto your tippy toes, reaching way up high, pulling your hips down towards the ground. Nice big whole body stretch here. Using your breath. Open where you need to. And then on your next out breath, release your heels to the ground. Bring your hands to heart center. Just take a mindful moment here now that we're standing. Just notice how you feel here. This upright position. We're going to go ahead and do our easy sun salutations. We're going to do this twice, 2 full rounds on each side. So just follow along as best you can. Breathe in, raise your arms up. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, left foot back. Breathe out, right foot back. Down dog, breathe in. Breathe out, plank pose. Breathe in. Breathe out, knees, chest, chin down to the mat. Breathe in, shoulders up. Breathe out, down dog. Breathe in, right foot forward. Breathe out, left foot forward. Breathe in, rise up. And mountain pose. Breathe in, rise up. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, right foot back. Breathe out, left foot back. Down dog, breathe in. Breathe out, plank pose. Breathe in. Breathe out, knees, chest, chin down to the mat. Breathe in, shoulders up. Breathe out, down dog. Breathe in, left foot forward. Breathe out, right foot forward. Breathe in, rise up. And mountain pose. Breathe in, rise up. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, left foot back. Breathe out, right foot back. Down dog, breathe in. Breathe out, plank pose. Breathe in. Breathe out, knees, chest, chin down to the mat. Breathe in, shoulders up. Breathe out, down dog. Breathe in, right foot forward. Breathe out, left foot forward. Breathe in, rise up. And mountain pose. Last time, breathe in, rise up. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, right foot back. Breathe out, left foot back, down dog. Breathe in. Breathe out, plank pose. Breathe in. Breathe out, knees, chest, chin down to the mat. Breathe in, shoulders up. Breathe out, down dog. Breathe in, left foot forward. Breathe out, right foot forward. Breathe in, rise up. And mountain pose. Nice job. All right. What fun stuff do I have for you today? All right, from the top of your mat, you're gonna breathe in and raise your arms up. And as you breathe out, you'll fold forward. And then step both your feet back into your downward facing dog. Just pause here for a full breath cycle. Then lift your left leg straight back behind you for three-legged dog. Just see how far you can reach your toes or your heel. It's actually more like your heel up towards the sky. For that three-legged dog. Just hold here for a couple of breath cycles. Then on your next out breath, you're going to sweep your left leg in and through for low lunge. You are always welcome to drop your back knee down for crescent lunge. And then on your next in-breath, you're going to rise up into your crescent lunge. So if that back knee is off the ground, you're going to pull back with that left heel, opening that hip just a little bit more. Crescent lunge here. And you're going to bring your hands to heart center. You're going to lean out over that front knee and bring your right elbow to the outside of your left knee, twisting over to the left. And finding your breath here. So listening to your breath and not your mind. And using your strength to come back up through your crescent lunge. Sweep your arms down towards the ground. You're going to drop your right foot and pivot it so that it's parallel to the back edge of the mat. Walk your left foot so it's centered at the top edge of your mat. You're going to rise up into your warrior two. Your arms are out to the side and your shoulder blades down, crown of the head up. Gaze out over your left hand. Drop your right hand gently down to your right leg. Lift your left arm straight up. Reverse warrior, looking up towards those left fingertips. Breathing into your tension. Coming back down through your warrior two, reaching your left hand out over your left leg, dropping that elbow down on top of your left leg, and then sweeping your right arm across, reaching those fingertips towards the opposite wall. Flipping your right palm, wrapping your arm around your back, pulling gently back with that right shoulder and looking up, twisting here in our extended side angle. Releasing that right arm, coming back up through your warrior two. Just straighten your left leg, pivot your left foot so both feet are facing the long edge of your mat. You're going to push your bottom back as you bring your hands down to the ground in front of you. Wide-legged forward fold. Again, you're pulling up with your hips as the crown of your head relaxes towards the ground. Placing your right hand underneath your face, you're going to lift your left arm straight up towards the sky, twisting here. And bringing your right arm back down. I might have said the wrong hand. Well, switch hands. Whichever hand you didn't do, put under your face. And then lift the other one up towards the sky. And then bringing that hand back down to meet the other. You're going to, if you have them available, you're going to grab your blocks and you're going to walk, actually place them at the top edge by your left foot. You're going to walk your hands back towards your left foot and pivot both feet. They're both facing the short edge of your mat. So here you are in your low lunge again. We're going to prepare for, what we did last week was our standing splits. And here we're going to do standing splits. You can hold there or you can move into your warrior three. You're going to walk your left foot that's centered at the top of your mat. And then with your blocks on either side of your mat, if you have them, if not, bring your hands to the mat. But if you have your blocks, bring them to either side of that left foot. And then you're just going to launch off, straightening that left leg and lifting your right leg back behind you. Now, if you have your blocks, you can probably see that you can lift that right leg a little bit higher just because you have a little bit more freedom. You've brought the ground a little closer to your hands. And then if you like, you can, using the wall or your balance, bring your shoulders up and come into your warrior three. So wherever you're at, either standing split with the block or the ground, or warrior three with the wall, with a chair, with your balance. We're just gonna kind of practice warrior three or your standing splits here. And if you need to come back down into your standing splits or bring your right leg back down, your right foot back down to touch the mat, just kind of feeling what that feels. Now, again, be careful not to open that hip, that right hip up. You want to keep your hips square to the mat or parallel to the mat. Wherever you're at, just building strength. You can shake it out if you like, too. Always then come back in. Just building strength here. Going in and out as you need to. Just a few more breaths, just a few more moments, kind of feeling our way into this. Oh, Rural Public Schools is calling me. All right, on that note, bring your right leg back down to meet your left. And let's shake it out. Give it a nice good shake out. The shaking helps release the energy that we're trying to let go of. It's kind of built up in those poses. All right, you can place your blocks to the side. And we're gonna do the other side. So again, at the top of your mat, breathing in, raise your arms up. And as you breathe out, fold forward. Walk both your feet back into your downward facing dog and pause here just for a breath cycle. Or two. And then lifting your right leg straight back behind you. Kind of seeing how high you can bring that right leg here in your downward dog. Seeing that heel up towards the sky. Finding a place that feels open, not overwhelming. And then on your out breath, sweeping that right leg in and through for your low lunge on this side. You can always drop that back knee down And then using your breath, rising up into your crescent lunge, your knees off the ground, pulling back with that left heel, finding your breath. Bring your hands to heart center, reaching your nose out over that right leg, bringing your left elbow to the outside of your right leg, twisting over to the right, and finding your breath. Listening to your breath and not your mind. And when your mind becomes too loud, listening to your breath. Using your strength to come back up through your low lunge, or through your crescent lunge, sweeping your hands down, pivoting your left foot so that's parallel to the back edge of your mat, walking your right foot the center of the top edge of your mat, and rising up into your warrior two on this side. Finding your place in this warrior two. Somewhere between ease and overwhelm. Dropping your left hand gently to your left leg, raising your right arm straight up, looking up. Reverse warrior. Coming back down through warrior two, reaching your right hand out over, dropping that arm on top of that leg, sweeping your left arm across your body, reaching those left fingertips, that opposite wall. Flipping your left palm, wrapping your left arm around your back, looking up, pulling gently back that left shoulder. Releasing your left hand, coming back to your warrior two, straightening your right leg, pivoting your right foot, so both feet face the long edge of your mat, pushing your bottom back, bringing your hands gently to the ground, releasing the crown of your head. From here, you can just kind of stay here in this forward fold. You can clasp your hands behind your back if you want a little bit more work in the shoulders. And just let gravity kind of gently take your hands away from your head. Releasing your hands as they're clasped behind your back. Then grab your blocks again, placing them at the top edge of your mat. Pivot both feet, both facing the same direction, walking that right foot towards the center, the top edge of that mat. Securing your blocks and then lifting up onto that right leg, straightening your right leg and coming into your split here, either with the blocks or on the ground. And then you can stay here or you can come up into your warrior three using your balance or the wall or chair or whatever it is. Use the wall so my head doesn't hit it. Whatever's there. Just take a moment here to play in either your standing split, warrior three, and see if you can keep your hips level to the ground, going in and out as you need to. Either pose, whatever your body needs today, just listen to it. Even if you've given up on me and my guidance, and you're just laying on your mat, that's fine too. Your practice. You showed up, that's okay. I'm just here as a guide. All right, just a few more moments. And then bring that left leg down to meet the right, shaking it out. Give it a nice good shake. All right, you're gonna face, move your blocks out of the way. You're gonna face the long edge of your mat. You're gonna walk your feet out about a little bit wider than hip width distance apart, and your toes are gonna face the top corners of that long edge of your mat, kind of out at a 45-degree angle. We're gonna come into a low squat. I'm gonna show you a modification. If you want to do low squat, but it's hard on your knees, the modification is still hard on your knees or your hips, then just come onto your bottom into your butterfly. So you're gonna grab your block and place it kind of in the center in between your heels. And then you're gonna come into your low squat. So you're gonna bend your knees and lift your heels up off the ground too. Bring your hands down to the ground, and then you can reach in down and adjust the height on this block, or you can, if you want both blocks, that's helpful. And you can rest your bottom on the block, and that takes a little bit of the pressure off your knees. So you're not just hanging there with all your weight on your knees. And this might be a good way for all of us to do frog pose. It's more of a restorative frog pose, if you will, or supported frog pose. Just pause here for a moment. You can release the crown of your head also down towards the mat. And again, if this isn't working for you, just come all the way down onto your bottom, bring the soles of your feet together for a butterfly pose. All right, if you're on the blocks, you're gonna lift your bottom up a little bit, remove the blocks, and you're gonna come all the way down gently onto your bottom. You're gonna center yourself long ways on your mat. Grabbing your knees, you're just gonna gently roll back onto your back. Tucking your shoulder blades underneath you. Walking your heels towards your hands and your hands towards your heels. We're not gonna touch. Tuck your shoulder blades and lift your hips up off the ground for bridge pose. You can pause here. You can lift your one heel and then the next, bringing your belly button towards your spine. Just a bit of a inner ab workout. Or just hold your bridge pose. In and out if you like. I hope you, throughout this process, you connect with your body and just listen to what it wants, what it needs, what it's asking you for. Great benefit of a yoga practice. All right, releasing your hips down to the ground, hugging your knees into your chest, and rocking back and forth. We're going to roll all the way onto our bellies. We're going to place our forearms on the mat. Press the tops of your legs into the ground. Finding that nice arch in your back here in Sphinx pose. You bring your shoulder blades back, looking up. If you're feeling any sort of pinching in your low back, you can, again, bring that belly button up towards your spine. That'll protect your spine. Just finding your breath. You're going to lower all the way down onto the mat. You're going to bend your left knee. Bring the side of your head to the mat. Bend your left knee. Bring your left foot to the side of your right leg with your knee bent. You can have your hands cactus, your arms cactus out to the side, or you can bring them down by your side. This is belly down tree pose. And so you can play around with your foot on the side of your leg and decide kind of where you want it. As you move it up or down, it can kind of intensify the stretch there in your hip. For the most part, you just kind of want to let gravity release you into the ground. Use your breath to bring your heart rate down, slow your breathing. And then straighten out your left leg, switch sides, bring your right foot up to the inside of your left leg, bend your knee out, find a place. You can kind of melt into the ground. Another option for your arms would be to bring your hands underneath your forehead. And coming back up, straightening your right leg. You're going to roll back onto your back. Just gently. And hugging your knees into your chest, releasing that left leg straight out in front of you, hugging that right knee into your chest, and then when you're ready, just gently bringing that right leg across your left hip for your supine twist, letting gravity do the work, and your shoulder blades on the ground. Turning your right leg back, realigning your hip, pushing your right leg straight out, hugging your left knee in, just before gently guiding it across your right hip. Again, allow gravity to do the work. And bringing your left leg back up, realigning your hips, and finding your way into your Shavasana position. Again, your feet can be on the ground, your knees bent. You can bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall out to the side. If you want a supported pose here, you can bring your blocks to the outside of your knees. This is a choice of yours, or you can come into your traditional Shavasana. Your legs straight out, arms at the side, palms down, more grounding, calming energy, palms up for more upregulating, energizing energy, your choice. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, close your eyes. Nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, turn your attention inward. Nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, let go of anything in your surroundings. Completely go inward. Find your normal breathing pattern. Perhaps notice where you can feel your breath in your body. Notice how you feel or where you feel each in breath and where you feel each out breath. This continuous cycle of breathing in and breathing out, nourishing on the in breath and surrendering on the out breath. Nourish and surrender. Nourish and surrender. And we'll be here for a few moments on our own. So please enjoy your Shavasana. If you're not ready to come out of Shavasana, you can stay where you're at. And if you are ready, you can go ahead and begin to move out of this pose, perhaps starting your feet or your hands, just welcoming some movement into your body. Moving your knees or tapping them against the ground. Stretching your hands above your head. Gently arching your back. Whatever feels available to you. And then when you're ready, gently rolling over onto one side. Pausing for a moment just to let the blood flow back through your heart, your brain, your organs. When you're ready, and only when you're ready, pushing yourself up to seated. We'll go ahead and end our practice for today. So thank you all for showing up today. I really, really appreciate all of you and all the work you're doing for so many people in our district. And may your light shine freely, and the light in me sees and honors the light in all of you. Namaste. A wonderful rest of your week. Let me know if you need anything.